So guys, today's video comes from Newton Farm Trout Fishery. Another new venue to the channel, and yeah, cracking little venue, lovely little spot, and I was looking forward to my day. So because this was a new water, I didn't actually have any information on it. All I knew was it wasn't that deep, but yeah, I hadn't seen any reports, and I just thought today's video I could talk through the kind of tactics that I would approach for a new water and based on the conditions. So I knew it wasn't deep, and it was a sudden cold drop in temperature. So taking that into account, I set up one rod on the bung. The idea, it was very calm, and the bung always does well when it's calm. And another rod on a midge tip line, and that was just to enable me to get down a little bit. Because it was a sudden cold spell, what tends to happen is the fish don't want to chase very fast. So I could fish static with the bung. I had my midge tip on, I could fish a lure quite slowly. Always had the option to go into naturals, which I did do once it heated up a bit. But yeah, to begin with, I started off on the bung. Had the bung set at about 3 to 4 feet most of the day. Starting off here, it was at 3 foot, and I had a peach egg, just a single fly under the bung. The fishery was nice and quiet, which I was pleased at. That meant I had plenty of opportunity to move around during the day. As I say, I hadn't fished here before, so it was going to be a case of moving pegs, finding out for myself if there was any hot spots for fish. And yeah, really, really beautiful morning, as you can see. It was cold, but nice and calm. There was a bit of a ripple came on, and yeah, cracking day for fishing. So all I was doing here was I was casting out and leaving the bung for about 60 seconds, and then taking it in and casting out again. It was quite shallow in the margins, otherwise I'd be fishing a lot closer in to begin with. And yeah, it didn't take long until I was striking into my first fish. So first fish into the net nice and early, which is always nice at a new venue. And it was a nice blue trout, cracking little trout. And yeah, let me know there was fish in the area and that the method was going to work. As you can see at this point, the sun was starting to come up, which, yeah, was adding a nice little bit of heat, but for fishing the bung it was actually making it quite difficult to see anything, but I could still just about see it. So I stuck with that and thought I'll just keep casting in different directions and just see if there is more than that one fish in the area. And yeah, it was just a case of trying to see the bung. And you'll see here the bung starts to move ever so slightly. I'm not quite sure, I can't really see it very well, and you'll see me dipping down. Is it moving? Is it moving? Yep, strike into the fish. What I did notice early on was that the bung was twitching a lot, and on some days it pays to strike as soon as your bung moves. and some days it's worth just waiting until it dips properly under to strike. This was definitely a day where there was lots of little twitches. It was like they were just nipping at it, and it was a case of just waiting until you get a proper dip on the bung, and that's when to strike in. As you can see there, this fish was keen to jump into the net itself, and another nice blue trout. So cracking start to the day, beautiful venue, into some fish early doors, can't complain. I then went quiet for a little bit and I started to move pegs. So you can see here I have moved. I had obviously moved the camera, that's me striking into a fish. And yeah, still on the bung at this point. I had changed the egg to a cheese egg, something just a little bit more subtle, and that managed to tempt this fish. I did then want to try other methods, but it was clear the bung, fishing static, and I did try other flies, squirmy, etc., but it seemed sort of subtle colours of eggs were the ones that were working best. So the first rainbow of the day, and a very lively one. Getting them into the nets quick is good for the fish, but it can be quite hard to retrieve the fly. But yeah, first rainbow of the day, happy days. So at this point I decided to just switch methods, try something different to see if that would work. So I went with a 2-fly cast, and I had a red apps on the point, and I had a snatcher on the dropper. I just went with the 2 flies because the water was really quite clear, and I was just casting out, very slowly retrieving, and as you can see, into another fish. So another nice fish to the net, and this time on the red apps. So it was clear, slow was the way to go. The fish were taken static, or the fish were taken slowly. I then decided to put on the purple rain zonker, the one that's been catching me so many fish. I just thought I'll fire it on and just try and fish it slowly to see if this pattern will also work on this day. And yeah, it didn't take long before a fish hammered it. So another fish to the net, and yet again this pattern proving successful. This time fished quite slowly, and yeah, the thing just stands out a mile and the trout just attack it. And away it goes. So I kept with the black zonker for a while. You can see that the ripple had picked up a bit, which meant that I thought pulling a lure would work a bit better. Couldn't see many naturals. I had been fishing a natural with the red apps, but I was still keen to try and give that a go. But for now I stuck with the black zonker and just again slowly retrieving, and yeah, the fish were picking it up. So another nice rainbow to the net, and it was time to try something else. So as you can see in the frame here is my dad. This was day 2 of our weekend away. We had fished lead creef on the Saturday and we were fishing Newton Farm on the Sunday. And at this point I was back on the red apps and the snatcher and just blethering away, and again I was mostly just letting it drift round in the breeze, just keeping in touch with the flies. And this time the fish picked up the natural. A gold snatcher that I was trying out for the first time, and this fish fancied the look of it. So the snatcher. So another fish to the net, and it was clear that the fish were into taking naturals, so I actually put on a sparkle buzzer under the bung, just 3 foot under the bung, and another couple of fish quickly followed. So all different methods were working, and when it got to the hottest part of the day, that's when I switched on to using some naturals, and that brought me quite a few nice fish. As the day wore on, I went back to sort of more lure tactics. Didn't really work, and then back to the bung again. As you can see here, a cracking sunset, beautiful time of the day, and I was back on the bung and back into some fish.
So easily, open up your eyes and see there's more to our story. Open up to me, don't give up so easily. Open up your eyes and see there's more to our story. Don't leave me hanging. Don't leave me hanging on.
So as you can see, into another fish, and really the key for the day was being able to switch methods quickly during the day and adapting to what you were seeing on the water. So another fish to the net here, cracking little fish. And yeah, it was a case of they weren't that deep because the water wasn't that deep, so that made things a little bit easier. But during the warmest part of the day, going onto the naturals was pulling out a few fish. When it was a bit calmer, the bung was pulling out fish, and when the ripples started up, the lures were pulling out more fish. So it was just being adaptable to the conditions. Even though it was a new water, those kind of rules will work the majority of the places. The only difference is if you go to waters that are deeper, you sometimes have to work through the water column to find the fish, but there was no problem with that here today. I think it was about 6 feet maximum in most places, and you see there, into another fish on the bung. The bung was killing it. As soon as it was flat calm, it really was catching me some fish.
I'm just good at caring too much. I'm just good at caring too much. Is it too much to ask that you be all mine? I never was good at sharing. I'm just good at caring too much.
So one last fish to the net, and that topped off what was a great day. You can see there at the side one of my rig winders falling in the water. Fished that out after I let the fish go. But yeah, all in all, had a brilliant day. Really enjoyed just working out the water. I'll definitely be back. It's somewhere I would like to go more in spring and summer and dial in on the naturals. I think it'd be a cracking little water for dry fly. So yeah, recommend going. Cracking little place, and it really topped off the weekend for me and my dad. This was part 2 of our fishing weekend, and yeah, it didn't disappoint. So Newton Farm, I'll definitely be back. Thanks for watching, guys. See you soon.